Hi, I'm Marvin Plackett, and today is Thursday, May 28th. Greetings to all residents, to all staff, and to all guests. I certainly didn't think that there would be any topic that would preempt COVID-19, the urgency of that in any way, but in fact, at the moment there is. As you all know, the death of George Floyd at the hands of police has caused quite substantial social unrest right here in Minneapolis and St. Paul, the city that we love, or the cities that we love. You saw the news, so you know what happened yesterday on Lake Street, last night on Lake Street, and right now it's 1:30, and about an hour ago on University Avenue, some looting, I do not know the extent, but some looting has occurred on University Avenue at the Target store, at Cub Foods, and in fact, the closest I saw it, because I was just coming from Kearny Heights, which is at Lexington and University, I saw it at Snelling and University in a couple of the shops. And so a few things. One is that I have informed all of management, and we are, of course, on alert. If we should feel any need to call 911, we certainly will. And even though obviously the police are being stretched thinly at this point, if they are informed that we are in fear that substantial numbers of lives are at risk, we would get response. I have no doubt about that. Management, we are going to remain calm, and we are going to remain strong. And we are going to focus on the facts and not the fears. And part of the facts are that right around us, as you know, there is no retail. And the looting that has occurred has been at retail centers. And that doesn't exist around us. The nearest retail that we have is Snelling and University, and that would be about 5 blocks away. And so from that standpoint, our position on University Avenue is in a good spot. I highly doubt that the crowds are interested in walking this way, because there isn't something that's appealing to them in this way, based on what we have seen in Minneapolis and based on what we are hearing about and seeing right now in St. Paul. I know that you will be watching the news. I will be watching the news. We are all going to stay alert, and we are all going to focus on safety. And I know, obviously, the governor is on top of this moment to moment. The guards have been called. The mayors of St. Paul and Minneapolis are on this moment to moment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, we are, for the moment, engaged in our neighborhood in this period of social unrest. And obviously, we all pray that this period is going to be very short-lived, and that it is going to go back to calm. And I'm going to be staying informed just like you are. And we'll look forward to seeing how things unfold. And I really believe that this is not going to be something that is going to directly impact our campus here of Episcopal Homes at University and Fairview. We are enhancing security, incidentally, at King's Crossing today, tonight, for as long as we need to. King's Crossing is at Dale and University. If you have any additional questions, you can ask your managers, and of course you can reach out directly to me. For a COVID-19 update, we at this point, as you know, testing occurred on Tuesday, yesterday, and today is occurring at Episcopal Church Home, for Episcopal Church Home residents and those that work at Episcopal Church Home. I got tested yesterday, I got swabbed yesterday. Probably I'll get the results tomorrow or Saturday, I'm not sure. In any case, so far we have received 160 test results. And of those 160 test results, 2 additional confirmations have been received by us. So 158 are negative, 2 are positive. Both of those positive ones are residents that live at Gilbert House. They've already been transferred to our dedicated COVID-19 unit on 2nd floor. So 2 out of the 160 have come back positive. 158 is negative. That means no staff, none of those staff, because probably around 70 of those tests were staff. Somewhere around 90 were residents, roughly speaking. I'm sure I'm off just a little bit. We view this as really good news. This is a very positive story, a very positive response. You know, the unknown can produce some fears, no question. So it's really nice to have that much testing occur, that much confirmation, and find that only 2 more cases have been added. For those 2, we of course are sobered by that. We're saddened by that. We are pleased that it isn't more than the 2. So with that change, we now have a total of 17 confirmed COVID cases at Episcopal Homes. 9 are residents, 8 are staff. And once again, all of the 9 residents are on our dedicated COVID unit at Episcopal Church Home. And just a reminder, as I did mention the last couple of days, as we do more testing, we are going to find more cases, and that we want the facts. We want to know where we stand. So this is all a very good thing that increased testing is occurring. And as I also mentioned previously, the Gardens, our other nursing home, will be scheduled to get tested, as will Iris Park Commons, our assisted living. Remember that our strongest weapon that we have to fight COVID-19, the strongest activity that we can do is stick to the social distancing of remaining at least 6 feet apart, which is essentially 3 arm lengths apart. Okay, not 1 arm length, but 3 arm lengths apart, and wearing masks. Anytime we're not in our apartments, in our rooms, in our offices, wearing our masks. That is the best weapon that we have to fight COVID-19. I have in my notes to read a positive message from an organization that I received an email from this morning. I forgot to bring it, so I will bring that tomorrow. And now for some final words from Phil Rose.
Thank you, Marvin. Well, today is truly a sad day. Yesterday, we reached the milestone of 100,000 COVID deaths across the United States, and Minnesota is approaching 1,000 deaths. And so that is definitely sad. And along with that, we have lost 2 people here to the virus at Episcopal Homes, and of course, the tragedy of George Floyd's death at the hands of a Minneapolis police officer. It's striking to think that the actions of one police officer, one single man, has led to, first of all, peaceful protests that sadly turned violent and then led to looting and the setting of fires. This morning, as I read the news and saw the graphs of the number of people who have died and looked at the burned out storefronts, I'm beyond sad. I'm beyond tired. I'm exhausted. It has been an exhausting year. And there is a poem written by one of my favorite poets, who I believe I've read from before. His name is John O'Donohue. And he has a prayer, or a poem called A Blessing for One Who is Exhausted. And I'd like to share that with you now. And one of the things that I appreciate about it is that he lets us sit in the exhaustion for a little while, because that's probably what we're feeling. When the rhythm of the heart becomes hectic, time takes on the strain until it breaks. Then all the unattended stress falls in on the mind like an endless, increasing weight. The light in the mind becomes dim. Things you could take in your stride before now become laborsome events of will. Weariness invades your spirit. Gravity begins falling inside you, dragging down every bone. The tide you never valued has gone out, and you are marooned on unsure ground. Something within you has closed down, and you cannot push yourself back to life. You have been forced to enter empty time, The desire that drove you has relinquished. There is nothing else to do now but rest and patiently learn to receive the self you have forsaken for the race of days. At first your thinking will darken and sadness takes over like listless weather. The flow of unwept tears will frighten you. You have traveled too fast over false ground. Now your soul has come to take you back. Take refuge in your senses. Open up to all the small miracles that you rush through. Become inclined to watch the way of rain when it falls slow and free. Imitate the habit of twilight, taking time to open the well of color that fostered the brightness of day. Draw alongside the silence of stone until its calmness can claim you. Be excessively gentle with yourself. Stay clear of those vexed in spirit. Learn to linger around someone of ease who feels they have all the time in the world. Gradually, you will return to yourself. Gradually, we will return to ourselves, having learned a new respect for your heart and the joy that dwells far within slow time. May it be so. Thank you, and I will be back at 3:30.